Congratulations, you just won $1 million and a free trip to a Thailand massage parlor. On me. Alright, cool. Is everyone still there? Still listening? Alright, good. Because apparently the only way to keep people listening is rather offer them money, be a woman that says, oh my god, thank you. Or hypnotize them with big anime boobies. That's pretty effective. No, but real talk though, I like all those things too, let's be honest. But to the point, being a longtime YouTube viewer has been an amazing experience. I've come to realize a lot of things about myself and the platform itself. So this is going to be a video about how I've always interacted with YouTube in general, and a few recommendations on how to make the platform better. So rule 1, it all revolves around clickbaity titles, thumbnails, and descriptions, which is hilarious to me because when I first started really watching a lot of YouTube, if you had a clickbaity thumbnail, you got made fun of. Like, it was considered like borderline illegal. Like, people would make fun of you so fucking quick. It'd be like, oh, look at this guy, his video sucks, so he needs to have something clickbaity in the thumbnail. Then again, if you go back and look at old school YouTube thumbnails, they weren't quite up to par, let's just say. They were pretty simplistic, to say the least. But that's when I realized one of the ways I interact with YouTube is actually way different than a lot of the quote-unquote audience of nowadays. Because back then, I would just look at the fine print. I would say, alright, who posted this video? What's the title? I'd click on the video, pause the video, check the description to make sure I wasn't being misled at all. So the thumbnail was the very last thing I actually kind of looked at, because what I have to explain to people is, once you've gathered a following, it doesn't matter what the thumbnail is. It's just like think about Charlie, or think about Asmongold, or anyone like that, right? They could just have a picture of their face in their room chilling every single time, borderline the exact same thing, and you would still click on the video because you know who's posting it and you know it's going to be entertaining to watch no matter what. But to this day, that is how I still interact with YouTube whenever I watch a video. But yeah, now the expectation is flipped, right? Now you're expected to have a clickbaity good thumbnail, or else it's not considered up to par. And if they do click on it and your video doesn't live up to their expectations, which it never does, let's be honest, then you get made fun of for having a clickbaity title anyways. But if you don't have it like that, they're not going to click on it in the first place. So it's a funny little paradox that the audience kind of set up for themselves. But yeah, I just think a lot of this stuff is just kind of funny, to be honest. It's just like, I remember looking up just random stuff one day and I see a really clickbaity, woman with their bosoms out and all that stuff. And it was a Reddit compilation post or something like that. But nothing in the entire video had anything to do with the thumbnail. Like, it wasn't even mentioned at all. And I'm just sitting there like, this is odd. Why isn't he getting made fun of? Like, this is just amazing. Like, this is just lazy slop content with an over-exaggerated clickbaity thumbnail. Like, how is no one picking this apart? And that's when I kind of realized that that's the new meta and no one really gives a fuck as long as they get their boredom fixed for a little bit, pretty much. So I'm like, alright, well, can't really hate too much. Well, moving on. And it's around that time where I saw the platform in general kind of change, right? It went from just kind of logging on, going down a rabbit hole of just random stuff because they just threw everything and the kitchen sink at you as aggressively as possible. So you always found something new. Now it's just a blatant echo chamber of just slop, and I say slop in terms of the 4 things that they try to push down you no matter what you look up, no matter what you try to do. These 4 things will always appear. It'll be trends, drama, something parasocial, whether it be a streamer or popular YouTube or whatever else, and then it'll be someone reacting to one of those 3 things usually. And after you watch 1 or 2 of them, well, of course YouTube decides, oh, you absolutely must love this stuff too, so it pushes it down your throat more. So here's where I like to admit that I'm part of the problem, okay? In the beginning when I said I am an avid watcher of YouTube, what I mean to say is I'm really good at having YouTube open in the background while I do other things. This hilarious toxic coping mix of me searching for a video for about 10 minutes till I find something that piques my interest, and then I abruptly put it on, move it to the side, and then don't even pay the video any mind. So I just give people free views over and over again and just kind of let YouTube autoplay kind of take control. It's my biggest weakness, the thing I hate about myself the most, and it's the thing I love about myself all at the same time. Because you come to appreciate and realize that there is essentially endless content on YouTube. Like, you could just let autoplay do its thing and it'll just play you stuff. You have to admit you're at least a little bit interested, right? So you'll just let it play half the time, especially if you're not even watching the videos like me, just multitasking, having it on the background, which I'm sure if you're a smaller creator, you don't mind. I wish more people did that for me. I'll click on a video and be like, oh, well, this isn't what I thought it would be at first, but I'll let it play. They have a low subscriber count and everything else, so I'll just let it play. It's not hurting anything. But now we're gonna get into the positive things, right? That whole rabbit hole and just auto-playing and just essentially having replay value for everything, that I think is YouTube's biggest strength right now, but it's also what's holding it back, and they're holding themselves back, alright? So hear me out, this is what I recommend, and I find it mentally hilarious that they haven't implemented this in some way, shape, or form yet. What YouTube needs to implement is a top-tier filtering system. I shouldn't have to say this to a billion-dollar company, that you should put a filtering system on your platform that has infinite replayability no matter what, but I guess more people have to bring it up and say it, I guess. But I find it mentally hilarious how a corn site that probably only makes a fraction of what the Google company does, and yet they have a filtering system for everything. You can find anything and everything, and I'm sure their upload rate is pretty freaking high too, so I find that quite impressive. So whatever excuse YouTube has that they haven't implemented it yet is just beyond me, and I find it actually kind of impressive, because if you logged in, picked your filters, and then let the algorithm do its thing, I think it would be superbly impressive. I think that's what would really just kind of take it over the fence, you know? Like, we could start it simple, right? We could just have tags, right? You could remove a certain genre completely out your algorithm that it recommends you no matter what, unless you're subscribed, of course. Another big one would be to specify upload date. From the time I hit that filter button and say uploaded past 2 hours, it should show me everything that was uploaded in the past 2 hours, right? And you could say, what's the point of that? There are thousands of uploads every few minutes probably. It's just like, that's what you use this platform for anyways, is to waste your time and just see what you can find, right? So if you have time to waste to open YouTube and watch YouTube in general, what time are you wasting by looking up possibly newer, less discovered content that you didn't know you like? And what would be another nice one to coincide with that one would be to filter out anyone above a certain subscription count. So that way you could say, all right, what small creators uploaded a video within the past day? And you could just randomly scroll and you might find a hidden gem that you enjoy, and you might subscribe to them and help them out a little bit. I think that would push this platform to pretty much near perfection, if you ask me. At the same time, it would be pretty cool to have that OG YouTube style nostalgia, you know, where you just open up your page, you got all your filters on, and then you just discover something new every day whenever you go to log in. I think this really isn't hurting anyone. If anything, it's hurting newer creators or people who are stuck in the middle, you know? It would definitely help out someone like me, cough cough, that uploads near daily for a pretty long time now. I'm not trying to pull a notice me senpai moment or anything, because I just do this for fun. So if no one wants to watch me, that's fine. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I wasn't at least a little frustrated when all my videos only get 5 impressions usually. Because at the end of the day, I think people forget that YouTube is a social media platform, right? It's to put out media in order to be social. Like before Mr. Beast and whoever else came on, that they decided, oh, this is a good way to make money, because let's be face it, money ruins everything good in this world for the most part. We would just make content for fun, and if people wanted to watch it, that's absolutely cool. I don't know, that's been my mentality through my entire life though. People ask why I did something and I'm like, I don't know, I just kind of did it for no reason in particular, and I turned my brain off. I wasn't really thinking. I don't want to think. That's the one good thing about money, you get to pay people to think for you. I think that's pretty useful. But yeah, all that being said, although YouTube's changed and how people interact with YouTube and how they view YouTube in general definitely has changed over the years, the way I perceive YouTube won't ever change. YouTube may change, but I won't. Enjoy your day, everyone. Thanks for watching.